Just watch for her.
Hey, folks, we're live.
Good evening, everybody.
Chris M. and Miss Tricia is with us this evening.
Hey there.
I wasn't sure. You popped up in the whales up there. Our phenomenal entry. I said, do I go ahead? I said, I hope I didn't screw anything up. So I went ahead and clicked to bring you in, and it didn't interrupt it. I said, "Oh, thank you." I've been, I don't know, man. I had a technical issue tonight already, and I was getting set up for the show, and I'd always open up YouTube so I could see it all there. Then I went to my StreamYard, and it didn't have it. I said, where did it go? I mean, the information YouTube got the information from somewhere. I sent it from StreamYard, and it did not pop. I mean, I looked it. Well, when I clicked on my button for the Texas Cruiser Live, that's where it keeps all the past Texas Cruiser Live. But also, I was supposed to click on it and it takes me straight into the new show.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do that, and it wasn't there. I said, "Oh my God, where did it go?" So I wound up creating the show again. Of course, the link's going to be different, even though everything's the same. It still wants to, all the StreamYard wants to create a new link. So I had to go over into Facebook where the Texas Cruiser group button is on the Messenger, and I said, "Hey guys, scratch that other one, delete it. We got. Here's the new link." So I put that new link, and Chris found it. That's when I first noticed. You and Eddie were talking about, say, "Hey, Rick, we can't. It's not working." I didn't see those messages.
Right.
I said, yep. "Oh God!" And you guys were trying to tell me, but I didn't see the messages. Anyway,
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Now give Danny something else to laugh at me about. So, Miss Tricia. You just came off of a cruise.
I did. It was wonderful. Y'all can't see my forehead. It's like peeling. I'm all
no. Yeah. I don't see it. No, I don't see it. Look, you look normal. It just
well, that's good. I Colleen, the first port was Costa Maya, and she enjoyed it for the most part, but the second part of our excursion was just lounging in a chair in the sun, and she was like, "I don't want to be in the sun. I don't want to be hot. I don't want to get sunburned." And so the next day was Cozumel, and of course it's another day out on the water in a boat, and I gave her my hat. There's Poe. I gave her my hat because they didn't want us reapplying sunscreen because of the reefs. So I threw my hat on her to protect her skin. So she got a little pink like on her shoulders and her back, but I got toasted. But
oh no, is it the red toasted?
Yeah, my face was especially my forehead and my nose, super red.
She just wanted to try to recreate the lobster that I had.
Yeah. Well, I may turn red a little bit at first, but by the next day, I'm already brown. I'm already turning brown. I have my mama's skin. My mama has dark complexion, and I have her skin. So, well, hi there, little friend, little buddy.
This is Poe.
Yeah. Tricia just wanted to see if she could turn into a lobster like I did that one time back in March. So.
Exactly.
I tell you what, the reflection off the sand and the water will get you too. You may be out the indirect, but that reflection will get you too, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Leslie, welcome to the show tonight. I'll go ahead and get this out. Let's see. I really appreciate you coming. Leslie's the first one here, folks. She was there early. Thank you for coming through here, coming by. Miss Tricia, we have you already. Oh, Southern Air. There we go. I need to make the print bigger. Southern Air, how you doing tonight? Thank you for coming. Thank you. Let's see. Cruising Complete, how you doing tonight? Welcome to the show. Cruising's fun anytime. Hey, this is Cheryl. I'll start to say Jeremy. Cheryl, how you doing? Jeremy has that hats on the mission tagline. Nicole, hey Miss Nicole, how you doing? Floaty, my buddy Floaty, how you doing? Angie, that's Angie. Cat and Matt, are you not going to tell us guess which is which? I know it's Matt. We're all happy people. Dan, of course, there's Danny. Yes, we're gonna get diving off into some cruise news here. We got some interesting topics. Hey Caleb, how you doing? Let's see here. Danny. Okay, yes, that's one thing I'll own it. I'll own being a troublemaker. Hey, Miss Linda Tolman, how you doing tonight? Let's see here. There's Nelly. Hey, Martin, how you doing, buddy? I gotta put this up. Yeah, that I can't help myself sometimes, Mr. Nelly. I did give you a shout out, didn't I? The government name too. I'm okay. Just took some medicine. Good. You follow them doctor's orders, man. Hey, JC, how you doing? Bill, hey, Mr. Bill, how you doing? Wishing Mouse, how you doing? We're getting some nice folks in this evening. Hope y'all hope it's not raining and all that where you are. We've had some few rain, but we quit raining today. I think it's going to be dry for a while until possibly the end of next week, Sunday and Monday. The end of the weekend, going into the first next week. Hey, wait,
yeah, you sent the rain up. You sent the rain up my way, Rick. We're raining today, so.
Hey, Miss Lady M, how you doing? Michael Ann, how you doing, Miss Michael Ann? Najuma, Miss Najuma, how you doing? Let's see here.
Anybody want a cat?
We have a cat that adopted us, but she pretty much wants to stay outside, so we let her stay outside. She comes in some though. Yep. Okay, here we're almost there. Keith is here. I got a new mouse, so my scroller's working a whole lot better now. Okay. Chris earlier today, Tricia, he did a excellent video with Randy Scrow's Nest about scooters, and be a topic lately, and I guess what's on my mind is this lady is suing Royal Caribbean because due to a series of events, she wound up tripping over a scooter and fracturing her wrist in the casino. And the last word I got, she was in the casino playing, but I think it was a Jewel. But Jewel's got a pretty big casino, but she said it's overly packed. Now, how can you have an overly packed casino? I mean, I just don't know. I've been in casinos where all the tables are all occupied and quite a few of the machines, but they've got hundreds some odd machines on that ship, and they're like 12 gaming tables. So anyway, what neither here nor there. But she said somebody bumped her. In turn, she turned and tripped over a scooter and fractured her wrist. Now she's suing Royal Caribbean for all the medical expenses, pain and suffering, and all the other stuff that cost of the cruise, stuff like that. So now Chris, from the perspective of the person who's in scooters and all that, I like his. So I'll let you take it from there, Chris.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing is, first of all, she was bumped into the scooter. It says that she was bumped by someone else. So obviously, something happened and she was bumped into the scooter. Now, what happens with that? Now, I was on Jewel of the Seas, a little bit after this happened, because after the story broke, I had to look and see when this actually happened. Because I was, like I said, I was on Jewel of the Seas in July, and it happened in June. Because I was like, it wasn't my scooter, was it? Because I remember going to the casino, and how the casino's set up is the upper deck for the theater feeds into the pit stop, which is a bar, restaurant, or bar area, which then feeds into the casino. So, but it's kind of hard to fit a mobility scooter through the pit stop from that upper deck area. So wherever she was walking, but going through casinos, you do have wide walkways to get through and everything. And, and how was it overly packed? Because Jewel is a fairly small ship. And the thing is, what was going on? Did the person who bumped them, were they drunk? Was she, under the influence of anything or whatever? So, those are all things that we don't know. We're not accusing or, assuming anything, but, these are all factors that can play into something like that. So, I think, with all the news lately about mobility scooters, I think they're really putting scooters into a bad rap. Mm-hmm. And you have to think about as many people that need mobility scooters on cruise ships just in order to enjoy their vacations as the other thousands of people do. There's still a lot less mobility scooters, but yet we're taking up a good portion of the news lately, with the lady, suing Carnival Cruise Lines, and of course the unfortunate death of the lady at Celebration Key. So, there's been a lot of news about it. So I think it's just an unfortunate moment in time right now with things that are going on. And she's suing for $75,000, which is no small chunk of change, but she's saying that Royal Caribbean failed to enforce safe scooter parking rules on Jewel, and that caused her to trip over the scooter and break her wrist. Now, when you're in a public area, you typically, at least I do, try to park it, right up next to the wall, next to where I'm sitting. Like when I'm at a casino, I typically move one of the casino chairs out of the way and I pull my scooter right up in front of the machine. Or if I'm playing at a table, I move the chair out of the way and I pull right up to the table. If I'm playing, roulette or something like that, I'll just, buddy right up to the table within my scooter. So, so I'm not sure what the circumstances were. I'm sure they've got video footage that will come out, stuff that we'll probably never hear or see, unless, we follow court cases, which I'm not going to follow the court case, but if it does make it through the news, of course, we'll be here to report it, right alongside with you, Rick. But, $75,000, she's obviously, wanting to go for damages and stuff like that. But, it's, it was a 3 or 4 day sailing because that's all that they do out of Fort Lauderdale. So, it could have been classified as a booze cruise, depending on which one she was on. So there's a lot of different factors that could have played into it. So, that's one of the unfortunate things that, there's still a lot of unknowns that we're not aware for, the general public.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, from the information we know, I mean, it's still not the whole picture. Yeah, I agree.
right.
It's still not the whole story. So, anyway, it'll get worked out wherever way it's going to go in the courts. What the Royal Caribbean will handle it the way that it'll be good for them. Hopefully, the lady has a good attorney that between the two.
Right. And the thing is, people need to understand that it's not the people that typically operate the scooters, and it's not the cruise lines' fault for the most part. Because, they have a duty to make sure the hallways are clear because, there's nothing that, like I said in my show the other day, there's nothing that, makes me more upset is when I see a scooter parked in the hallway and I can't get past, because that is a safety issue. Randy and I both agree. And, people need to take responsibility for their devices when they're on the ship. But, if they're parked safely out of the way, I know when I go into a dining area, they will typically park my scooter outside up against a wall. And there's typically 3 or 4 scooters parked up there, like they're parking in a spot. And, they do that for the safety of the other passengers, which I don't mind.
Right.
So that's something that they need to do. And that's something that they, that I don't mind them doing. And, like if I ever have to go to a restroom, I'll pull it right up against the wall outside of the bathroom. I will not try to take my scooter into the public bathroom with me, even though it most likely fit, because that just clogs up the space. So, it's just something that, people just need to take, care about. And you have to take responsibility for yourself. I can't make someone look up from their phone if they're walking down the hallway and then they bump into my scooter. If somebody cuts me off while they're walking because they're not paying attention, I've only got so quick of reactions that I can stop that thing. So have I accidentally tapped or ran into someone? Absolutely. Big, but
it happens.
They quickly walked in front of me, so, but I always try to keep a safe distance, but when they're darting in front of me because they want to go get that last chocolate chip cookie out of Cafe Al Baccio, there's not a whole lot I can do. So
it's more of the people got to work around the elevator issues better than they have. I always try to hold the door open for the people either coming off or going on the elevator in the mobilities chairs.
And it all comes down to common courtesies. If you were there first, you go first. If it's your turn to go, you go. If it's my turn to go, then I'll go. And let the scooter get on first, and there'll be time to fill in around them. But if you all get on first, there's not going to be any room for the scooter because I don't want to run over any toes. As good of a driver as I am, I can only do so much.
Right. Now, I always joking around with the people on the scooters, whenever in the elevator or we're outside, and so I said, "Well, they got rules against popping wheelies now, don't you?"
Yeah,
I get them laughing and all that. And,
oh yeah, and like with Eddie Lugo, I mean, yeah, and the thing is, the comedians are going to joke about that stuff, and I'll go right with the jokes because when I go into a comedy show, everything's fair game. And that's the comedian's job is to make fun of everyday life happenstance, and you always hear about people wanting, complaining to John Heald. Well, I went to the comedy show and he said a bad word and he offended me. Well, too bad. That's what comedians do. I mean, that's their job.
Right. That's their job.
So,
yeah.
Those folks are looking to be offended, though.
Yes, they are.
They want to be offended. They want to come out of that comedy show and complain about how offended they are.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I totally agree.
But I wondered, the scooter story. She said that Royal Caribbean failed to enforce their rules or what have you about parking the scooters. But where were they supposed to park the scooter in the casino? It's not like, the rules saying you've got to be able to get your scooter into your stateroom. That's different. You're out and about in a public area. Where do you park your scooter in a casino, a busy casino that's not going to be in someone's way? And I personally have never had an issue moving around a scooter in a casino.
No.
Most people are pretty respectful, and they don't just leave them out in the way. And I pay attention to my surroundings, and and again, it sounds it's an accident. Someone bumped into her. At least it sounds like it was an accident. It could have easily have happened that someone bumped into her and she fell into a roulette table or one of the chairs. It just so happens that it's a scooter, and
if you bump in a roulette table, that's disaster. Oh,
yeah,
we got a fourth member of the group here.
Right, and I agree with you, Tricia. I mean,
I like that little princess wave there, man.
What's happening, everybody?
Yeah.
How's that wrist? Is it good?
Look at that.
Uncle Dave's got that
Look at
childlike
that, huh?
demeanor right there.
Ooh.
Got that childlike demeanor. Oh, it's looking good.
Sexy,
Dang.
sexy.
You're out of that sling now. Look at you, brother.
No, I need to be back in the sling. I've been in the sling all day. I just took it off. I'm like, the hell with
All
this.
right.
I'm not tired of this
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
But getting back to what you were saying,
What's
Tricia, I think
going on, everybody?
99.9% of the people are like you, Tricia. They have no problem. They are aware of their surroundings, but there are some people who just are just in their own little worlds that think that everybody needs to look out for them, and they don't pay attention to where they're walking, or think that people are just going to move magically out of their way.
yeah.
So unfortunately, it's like that. Because I mean, how does Royal Caribbean going to enforce that? Me as a mobility scooter user, I try to make sure I'm not parked in the middle of someone's way. I try to make sure I keep myself out of the way, because I'm not trying to block anybody else from having fun or getting through or doing anything else. If they want to get to a machine next to me, by golly, come on in. I'm welcome for the company. But
Right.
where else am I going to put it? I mean, it's the scooter is only so big, and I can't exactly put it in my back pocket when I pull up to a machine
Right.
or anywhere on the ship. So
Yeah.
We're on a scooter gig tonight. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it.
No.
I mean, like if you're in a casino and they're like, I want to play this machine, but there's a scooter right next to it that's blocking it. Hey, I got an awesome idea. Go find another machine.
right.
How about that?
And
about that?
if somebody's not sitting in the scooter, just ask whoever scooter it is, hey, do you mind if you move the scooter so I can play that machine?
Yeah, fair enough.
The worst they can do is say no. Or look, but I'm
I'm
gonna say, hey,
watching.
if you want that machine-
I'm watching so and so. Can you back up 3 feet so I can go sit right here and then you come back 3 feet and everything's good? But I have found out 9 times out of 10, they will.
Right.
Yeah.
They will. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me get out your way. And I'm like, no, you're good. You just want to get in there, and then they come right back. All right, we're good. We're great.
Right.
No big deal.
Hey, Cruise Ship Drone, how you doing tonight?
Yeah. Hey, Nelly, to answer your question, it's a very valid question. Do you think a scooter will take up too much room into a jam-packed casino? Well, you have to consider what's jam-packed and what's taking up too much room. Is it fair to have somebody in a scooter leave as compared to asking 2 or 3 more people to leave, or to close down the casino, or to not let people traverse through? Because on cruise ships, casinos are in a central area, and you typically have to walk from point A to point B through the casino.
Right.
So are you going to stop the flow of traffic because it's too packed? Or, what are you going to do? So if I'm coming through with my scooter, you're going to say, excuse me, sir, you cannot go through because we're too full.
Yeah.
Or you're going to deny me entrance into a casino because I'm on a mobility scooter.
Right.
I think they're opening themselves up for something else. I mean, if there's no machines available, then they're saying, hey, we have no machines available. I can understand that, but they're not going to deny someone entrance to a public venue.
I will say this: if it is midnight or after, and I am coming back from the pizza joint with 2 slices and a Caesar salad, and there is a scooter blocking my way, we will have issues.
Well, yeah, but if a scooter's blocking
Dave,
you, then
Dave on a mission. Move it or lose it, sister.
Right.
No,
and the thing is I would expect Dave to say, hey, Moss, you need to get that scooter out my way because otherwise you're going to be wearing a Caesar salad.
No,
Yeah.
I'd be like, Chris, take this to my room because you're gonna make it there faster than I do. And
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, let me get on the back.
Yeah,
Roll
where's
out.
that Uber ride you promised me?
Yeah, Thundercats roll. You know.
Yep. Hey, folks, like I said, give a full comprehensive discussion about scooter mobility and all that. Go to Scrow's Nest and Chris. Chris has this show recorded. Go to his channel
Sure.
and you'll see that show and watch it, and you'll pick up a little more information about scooters and the issues involved with that.
You know, I've been cruising. I've been cruising since 2016, and I've seen a lot of things on cruise ships as far as people with mobility scooters, people
Right.
with wheelchairs, people with strollers, and I've been advocating for it. But who am I to advocate for it when I'm not one of those people? And that's kind of how I felt, you know. And I was just like, there's got to be. And then I meet Randy at Scrow's Nest, and I'm like, sweet. Then I meet Chris. I'm like, yes. So Trisha, you need to bring a stroller with a baby in it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't know if
I'm
Trisha
kidding.
wants
That just came off the cuff. But yeah,
Right.
you know, I mean, and as far as and it's not even the casino. It's more of like, you know, elevator etiquette.
Yep.
You know, now I've seen it going both ways with people not letting scooters on the elevator. They were in a bigger hurry. Well, you know what? Leave earlier. The stairs right there. Go take them. Then I've also seen like scooters that as soon as the doors open, wide open throttle straight up in there. You know, I'm like, hold on, you have to wait for the people to get off. You know, I've seen both sides of it, but
Yeah, and,
Right.
and I agree, Uncle Dave. I've seen both
just
sides.
be
too.
nice to each other. Damn.
Yeah.
It would just
Yeah,
be
it's-
nice. Shit.
Yes, it's not just the regular passengers. I've seen some scooter users that are just downright rude too. So yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
people issue. That's not a scooter person issue or a
It's-
No.
non-scooter.
No,
person. That's a
that's-
people
yeah,
issue. That's rude is going to be rude is going to be rude. Doesn't matter if they're
Yeah.
on a scooter, in a wheelchair, walking around with crutches, whatever. Rude is going to be rude is going to be rude.
I mean, it could go like, you know, hey, you know, can you move it along? Excuse me, I'm on a scooter. And it could go the other way. Hey, can you get out of the way? I'm on a scooter. There are 35 people in front of me. Where would you like me to go? Or you want me to, I'll tell you what, I'll get out the way so you can get that 7 inches further in wherever the hell you're going that you
Right.
probably should have left earlier for anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
and I always try to keep a good foot and a half of room between me and the person in front of me. Like, especially like when you're at a port stop, you know, you're trying to debark the ship, because I don't want to accidentally hit the throttle, you know, run into somebody in the
No.
back of somebody or something like that. So, you
That
know, while
hurts.
Trisha's trying to, you know, keep that cat from getting all over her.
That was, did you
But-
see that? That cat said,
He is so
Oh.
needy.
But
No,
yeah, I
I'm
always try to
talking
keep a
about-
little bit of space between me and the person in front of me, you know, especially in tight
Oh.
quarters, you know, like we're trying to debark the ship or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, but if nobody's in front of me, I will open the throttle up, but I will also make sure that, you know, it's kind of an empty ship, you know, at my 4 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
coffee
open
run.
the
or something.
throttle up. Chris,
Yeah.
you forget. I watched the video of you going across the parking lot when you were live. Chris was moving so fast about that sports complex parking lot, his hair was blowing in the air. And so slow down there, Timmy.
Anyway,
So they don't have to ask me to move out the way. Trust me, I'm
Yeah.
moving if I can.
We've been getting a lot of strange stuff going on, especially NCL. They determined that they're going to pull their 2 ships, the last 2 ships they have in the Caribbean, and the winter season 27, and they're going to redirect them to Europe. The Regal Princess is going to Southampton, and the Caribbean Princess is going to Denmark. and that leaves no Princess cruises in the Caribbean. So, what's the deal with Princess in the Caribbean? You know, they just can't handle the competition, or what the deal?
Well, you know, and Trisha can probably back me on this, but Princess has always been very slim in the summertime for the Caribbean. But, fully pulling out, that's, kind of baffles me, kind of like they pulled out of Galveston. It just doesn't make sense, because there's always a market there in the summertime. That's the
reason why I keep coming back to Princess on this stuff, is that it still boggles my mind that they pulled out of Galveston. And
but yet in their latest news stuff, they're putting out that they are doubling down on the wintertime for 27 and 28 with putting both Star and Sun Princess down in the Caribbean out of there. So
right,
they're having the most amount of ships out of there in 27 to 28 during the wintertime. So, obviously they're putting their money where their mouth is during the wintertime, but they obviously aren't seeing the returns that they want to have, I guess. Who knows? But it baffles me. It really does.
Well, they're doing real well with the Alaska route, which they need to be on the Alaska run. They need to have a few ships over here. I wonder if they're just when they're building more ships. When they build more ships, well, that changes the calculation on what they can do with the Caribbean. I kind of wonder that, and to a lesser extent, Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just kind of wonders if they're having management issues, or what kind of issues they're having where they're having to do this kind of stuff.
You're talking about like over the summer.
Yeah. No winter.
Well,
I think it's winter.
See, that's clutch, because I don't care. I don't cruise over the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally
right.
I cruise like September to April, and that's it. After that, I don't care what everybody else does. September to April.
Well, I know NCL is building more ships, and the Princess is building more ships. I kind of wonder, whenever they start launching these newer ships, maybe it'll change the dynamics of what they can. Now, I think NCL will eventually wind up keeping the ship here year round in Galveston. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, the thing is the new Princess ships are scheduled out until 2035, so they're still a long ways off with their Voyager class, and they're supposed to be 4,700 passengers. So,
yeah. That. I think I really believe that we will get our Oasis class back in Galveston, especially after the February 28th. I know that Symphony's schedule only goes up to the end of February, and all the other ships in the Royal Caribbean Fleet go up through the end of April 28th. So that has a vacancy now for what Symphony's going to be doing. And I have a feeling that the loss of Perfect Day Mexico has kind of thrown a little wrench into the calculation now.
Didn't they dump like $300 million in it already?
Yes. And they're still talking now. That deal is not dead. Mexico and Royal Caribbean are still in conversations of what to do where Royal Caribbean come in that was environmentally not a hazard to the ecology in the area. So they're looking at some other locations to put that.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to move it.
They
spent that money and started working on that area.
Yeah.
And now it's I don't know, man. I don't know.
So anyway, that's what they're working on.
Maybe they'll Maybe they'll build like Perfect Day in Galveston or something. You know.
Well, we don't have any real good amusement park. We do have Sleederbond here. That's a big water park, but
Right.
but the it's kind of like something's going to happen, and I'm anxious to see what's going to happen. And what it is, I do not have the foggiest idea, but I think they're going to. Here you go. Let's see.
Aren't they
Yeah,
getting into Terminal 16 in Galveston there, Rick?
Yeah, huh?
Aren't they getting into Terminal 16 with NCL?
What was that, Chris?
Aren't they getting into Terminal 16 at Galveston for NCL?
Yes. NCL that uses, Viva. Viva's already been here and has used 16.
Right, but they're going to go full time with they've got a 10-year contract or something, don't they?
Well, yeah. MSC has it's not exclusive, but they have rights to that terminal for 10, 20 years with another 10-year extension. Now, well, Jennifer, thank you for being a member for 4 months. But yeah, now Nellie mentioned something. Yeah. Now I love to have Allure back because I like Allure. Matter of fact, that's my favorite ship. That and Liberty are my two favorite ships, Royal Caribbean ships. And but Symphony will come back. I just can't see Galveston without an Oasis class for very long. So I keep thinking that, and they like this. Royal Caribbean spent well over $100 million building that cruise terminal down there, and so they want to utilize it. And so bringing in another ship to use it, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen, especially when they start opening up more stuff down there. The beach club, the Royal Caribbean Beach Club down in Cozumel and other. I think they're going to do some stuff there at Costa Maya. It's not going to be now unless they move Perfect Day Mexico over to the south a little bit. But if it's not going to be Perfect Day Mexico, they're going to develop Costa Maya more. So they expect that there's going to be some stuff going on around it. It may not be to the full scope of 300-acre park, but that's coming. That's coming there, and so that's going to be good for Galveston. To bring in more ships. Yep. Yeah. I believe you're right, Matt.
Matt,
I believe
I had a good time. I had a good time chit chatting with Matt the other night. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I know I missed a bunch of people talking, and so I'm going to try to scan through here right quick. Make sure I don't. Yeah. Donna and I both love. We're not. I mean, I'm glad to see Icon here, but we're more of the Oasis class, fans, and Freedom class, which is the Liberty of the Seas. We love Liberty. So,
hey, Leslie, I wish.
How you doing, Malibu? What's that?
No, Leslie, have we heard anything on a train from airports to Galveston yet? God, I wish.
No.
Oh my God, that would be so nice.
Now the harbor side is getting improved somewhat, and I'm happy to see that. Jennifer said Donna's so amazing.
Because I'm gonna tell you something, the Uber rides from Houston Hobby to Galveston are ridiculous.
I've always been a big fan of some kind of commuter rail from Houston to Galveston, with stops in between. I've always said that. We've had some old 50 era locomotive company, 50, 60s era, and they brought down here to some antique.
I mean, it would crush the Uber community, but I mean, think about it. How many people per year fly into Houston and Uber, taxi, or otherwise get to Galveston? Not the people that drive, because the people that drive are local or wherever they come from. They go down there. How many people per year do you think a simple, 12 to 14 car train twice a day in the morning and in the evening would run to Galveston? And it'd be packed the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they need to design it the Japanese rail system, where it's smooth and quick. It'll make the run down.
All right. I don't know if any of you have ever taken it, or even anybody in the chat. The Brightline train in Florida.
Yeah.
I can get from Miami to West Palm Beach in 20, 30 minutes, and that's including 3 stops. I mean,
well, even if they were to do a train, they could even probably take it over to George Bush and run it all the way over to Galveston.
Yeah, start at George Bush and come around, and then
Well, they need to. The issue is Southern Pacific and Georgia Pacific and Burlington Northern. All those railroads have the right of ways all bought up, owned. The state of Texas need to come in and tell them, so you're going to give us a part, but the problem is the federal government protects those railroads. And so the railroads say, well, we're not going to give up any track space for this mess. They don't care.
All right, there you go. There you go. Cat and Matt said it. 3.4 million in 2024 cruise passengers in 24 in G-Town. Realistically, 1.7 million each year.
Correct.
I mean, and you know what? Chris, like you were saying, going from George Bush to Houston, if you purchase a ticket on said train and you're flying into George Bush, there's a shuttle that takes you to Houston Hobby to take the train.
Right.
I mean, all right, so it's $60 a person. From Houston to Galveston is 90 to 115.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't know how
you can't stop. You can't stop at Buc-ee's. You can't stop at Walmart. Blah 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 blah. Get on a train and roll, nonstop, and it brings you to a train station in Galveston where all the hotels are. I don't find that a problem. I'd pay it. I would damn sure pay it.
Yeah.
Get off the plane in Houston, walk to the train station, just like Orlando. You get off the plane in Orlando, you can go to the Brightline station that is in the airport, get on a train and go where you need to go. From Orlando to West Palm to Boca Raton to Fort Lauderdale to Miami.
She's up around her face.
Yeah. And Nelly brings up a good point is right now, Brightline started out with great prices and they had a good amount of people going on there. But lately, if you go to check prices, their prices are getting up there. And I think they're losing a lot of business because the prices are starting to go up so high. I mean, it's almost going to fly.
They're actually in financial. They need financial aid.
Yeah,
they're in financial trouble.
Because it's almost getting to the point where you can almost buy a plane ticket from Orlando down to Fort Lauderdale cheaper than what you can get on a Brightline for.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's like coming to New Orleans and like getting a taxi or an Uber to your hotel downtown. No, you don't need to do that. You just call Dave. Dave will, facilitate.
Hey, Nelly, I tell you what will make that happen. Tillman's waiting on the state to approve casinos on the island. If they allow Tillman build 2 casinos on the island, one's a Golden Nugget, the other one's a Caesar, since he just bought Caesars, I'll guarantee he will build and put the train in himself. I guarantee that Tillman will do that. Tillman,
see what they do.
The guy who we're talking about, and he owns restaurants and all kinds. He's the one that owns the boardwalk. He's the one that owns the pleasure pier. He owns a lot of stuff around, and He just now within last month bought Caesars casino.
Yeah, in my hometown up in Michigan City, they've got Blue Chip Casino, and they run a shuttle bus that comes from Chicago into Blue Chip for people to come and play.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what it costs, if it's free, if you're a certain tier gambler or whatever. And they even run it out of Indianapolis for people to come up and gamble. So,
right,
sure, something. If he opens up casinos there, they're going to be running them from Houston. There's definitely going to be public transportation,
right.
To get from Houston down to there. Probably from Dallas.
And the other wild card is an airport. I know they're working on that part of it. The cruise lines are pushing the city and the federal government to get that Shoals Field set up to where they can bring the smaller regional jets, passenger jets, to come in. What's
that airport in Galveston looking like? Are they doing anything with that?
They've upgraded the lighting and they're starting to do some work on the runways. So it's looking more and more like a possibility here. We'll see. Let's hopefully get a new update on it by the end of the year.
Man, I thought the flight from New Orleans to Houston was short. Can you imagine from Houston to Galveston? They wouldn't even pick the landing gear up. They would just take off and they would be like, yeah, but that would be it.
They use those twin turboprop, planes. I guess they haul like 40, 50 people, and the Polo Humpers, and they used to have one from Intercontinental Airport to Clear Lake area. They're just a little south of Ellington Field. And
but I mean, if you're using a twin engine turboprop, I mean, how many of them do you need? I would say get something like a military C-130, because I know that'll hold 242 freaking people. You won't be comfortable, but it ain't gonna take long to get there.
Well, those old Brazilian jets that they build, passenger jets, those small ones, they can make the haul from there. They could be turboprops, or they could be a jet engine, and that could do it in just a matter of time. So I think it'll pay for itself very well. But
if they put in anything from Houston to Galveston, it'll pay for itself.
Oh, definitely.
Without a doubt. They're not going to lose money on it.
Yep.
Use the old adage, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Point A, right. Point B, done.
Yep.
You don't have to do all the bright line thing where you got the premium and upgraded and all the drinks on it. No. Get on a train. Get off the train. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, just a simple commuter train.
That is all it is. Yeah. Oh, well, the seats weren't comfortable. You was only on it for 40 minutes. What do you care?
Well, don't stay on the island, Nelly. Stay up. The hotels along 45, man, they're great. Fantastic hotels. Cheaper. Yeah, they're all good hotels. And they all serve free breakfast in the morning.
I paid for one night. I paid $129 in September, and for 2 nights, different hotel, but same branding. I paid $214.
Yep.
For 2 nights in October. So
that's right. I'm just going to stay at the Texas Cruiser Bed and Breakfast. Get me some. Man,
that's way up north in Frenchwood, man. That's a little way. That's like 40 minutes.
That's right. I hear he's got a big old truck he can take me in. I'll just hop in the back.
There you go.
Anyway, hey, Trish, tell us a little about your cruise. I know I heard about the sunburn part.
Yeah. I didn't know what to expect. It was my first Royal Caribbean cruise. And of course, I know we've got some loyal to Royal folks. And I know Nelly loves his Royal Caribbean. He told me not to Carnival his Royal. I think I did a
job. Don't Carnival my Royal.
That's what he said. But I did a pretty good job of not carnivaling his Royal Caribbean. So But yeah, we stayed on the 9th deck and had a couple of interior cabins. Those rooms were freaking cold. I thoroughly loved our room. Aside from it being so freaking cold, it was the perfect size for my daughter and myself. And it, older ship, but so much fun. I, of course, noticed the differences between Carnival and Royal as far as it felt to me, and I don't know, Chris, maybe it was the size of the ship, or maybe I just, because I was so focused on my daughter, but it felt like Royal didn't have as many activities during the day, like as many trivias and charades and things like that. I felt like there was more fun squad things on Carnival than Royal seemed to do. Did you notice? Did you feel like when you did Carnival that Carnival offered more activities during the day? It wasn't a deal breaker. It was just what
to me, I always thought Royal seemed to offer more trivia things like that during the day, because maybe I just didn't know how to find it in Carnival's app.
Yeah.
I'm just more familiar with Royals.
Maybe that was my problem.
Yeah. Royal does do the trivia. Now, the one thing Donna and I always liked, there's only one activity Donna and I love to do, and that is the cupcake making class. We go there, wine tasting and the cupcake. And
the trivia, the song, guess the song and all that other stuff. It seems like, you can always find something to do. At least I always did. Or the dance classes, go and sit and watch those and participate. My wife likes to participate in those.
Yeah.
So,
Chris, keyword. I would go and watch those as well.
Yeah, because the bar's open.
That's it. Yes. Yes, he said it. He said it out loud in front of God and everybody.
We weren't bored. We weren't bored, and I think that I think that you might be right that it was just a matter of not really knowing what was what and how to find the things. I mean, I did look through the app and put some things on the calendar. The girls on the first sea day went and did a sushi making class, and they absolutely loved that. They had a really good time. Colleen was talking about eye candy.
What ship was that on?
Radiance of the Seas.
That was Royal sushi making class. You know what? That is something I would do.
Royal Caribbean offers it on every sailing. They offer it on every sailing. So yeah,
for sure.
They really enjoyed that. And then we were having a meal. I want to say we were doing lunch in the Windjammer one day. And one of the servers, it might have been breakfast, I don't remember. But one of the servers or staff came around and was offering a discounted specialty dining. And so the girls went one night and did Izumi again and had dinner 2 for 1.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed that. And then the other brother and I went and we just ate.
I was on, I think I was on not the Paradise, but I was on a Carnival ship and I was eating at the buffet, and somebody came around and asked if I wanted a discounted Fahrenheit 555 steakhouse, and I'm like, okay, how much was it? And they told me, and I'm like, sure, I'll try it. They took my card, half price, and I went. I'm like, whoa, See, so I'm gonna tell you something, people. It pays to eat in the buffet because you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
2 for 1 Izumi is a great deal.
I mean, the at the time, that many years ago, the Fahrenheit 555, the steakhouse on Carnival was only like $48 a person. But hell, I got it for $24.
Right.
And I went and had a big old ribeye and the potato and the sauteed mushrooms and all of for $24. Shit, I can't eat a Whopper at Burger King for $20. You know?
The way it's going nowadays, you can't. Now on
Well,
your
and
sailing,
that was all in the. I was sitting in the buffet by myself as I cruised, and this guy come over and asked. I'm like, oh, sure.
Yeah. On your sailing, Trisha, towards the last couple of days, did they offer like a 10 drink card for like 75 or $100 or something like that?
Not to us. We didn't see them around if they were doing. Not saying they didn't do it. We just never.
They usually have a sign at the bars if the drink sales aren't going very well. Yeah. They'll offer a 10 for card, and usually it's like 10 drinks for like $75 or 10 drinks for like $100. You can actually share that card, so you could have shared that with your daughter or with somebody else. So that's something to keep an eye. That's a little tip to keep an eye out. Towards the end of your sailing, usually they offer it. Like if you're on a 7 night, usually on night 4, they'll offer it.
We had
Mitch. I don't know. I've only cruised Carnival, but that's going to change.
Right now, I've done both. I've done both, and Royal Caribbean is about 4 times better app than Carnival's.
I did like the Royal app. I will say that I did like the Royal app. I just am not used to using the app as much.
Right.
I did really like the Royal app, and the more I just didn't know how to navigate it as well because it was my first time, but I did like their app. And I'm looking at, I think Malibu said something about I would find more things to do or something if I were on a newer ship or I guess a larger ship. But Patrick and I are considering, we just haven't fully committed because I've got so many other expensive cruises booked for next year already. We are considering Harmony of the Seas in October of next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever sail Celebrity, their app
runs
the same as what Royal Caribbean's does. So
you can see all the stuff.
I agree with Mitch. I mean, he's down there in the bottom. You'll get to him in a minute, but I agree with Mitch for sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of wonder that.
It's not that it's not very good. It's garbage. It is garbage. And then they want you to pay $5 to chat to somebody that is in your room with you, and it doesn't work. So, it's trash. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your show.
I agree. The Royal Caribbean app is when Royal Caribbean first rolled out that app, they had offered it up to other cruise lines. Hey, this is a great program. We spent some money on it. Do you like to use it? And all of them said, I know we don't have no use for that. I know the Royal Caribbean's got the stamp on it and all that. And then a year later, everybody started, we got to start putting together an app. and they all, MSC, I've done MSC, and MSC is a decent app, but it's nowhere near Royal Caribbean. Now, of course, Celebrity is good because it's all in the same kind of program with Royal Caribbean. Right. The NCL, Princess, none of them don't measure up.
Right. Now,
you can do anything and everything on that app, on the ship.
Yep. Now, Nelly, with the Royal Caribbean texting.
By a 7-year-old.
Yeah. Now, Nelly, with the Royal Caribbean texting, it used to be that you never got a notification for the texting, but I heard that they have updated that since I last sailed. Is that true? Where you actually get a notification if somebody texts you on the Royal Caribbean app?
Yeah, it's almost like a regular text. Yeah.
Right. But go ahead, Trisha. I'm sorry. We interrupted you. So
no, it's fine. No, I think that nothing was really disappointing to me on the cruise, but I will say that their casino to me was a little underwhelming. They had a lot of older games, not a lot of the newer stuff. So I felt like they didn't really put as much into updating their casino on Radiance of the Seas. I mean, I still managed to spend my money in there and, you know, win some, lose some. I think I took 300. That was all I was willing to spend in the casino. Yeah. And I came out with 100. So I only lost 200. I did get my minimum 400 points, but
there you
go. That's what I was trying to do, is to hit that 400. So maybe I'll get, you know, some offers or something. But I was lowballing it. I've got a lot more cruising to do this year, so I didn't want to go too crazy. So 300 was my max. But I was a little bummed that some of the things that I was looking forward to playing, they didn't have. But I found other stuff to occupy me and have some fun. I actually paid $35 to join in on a slot tournament. I did not make the final round. I was in 14th spot, and I was like, yeah, I'm not making the final 6. So I went ahead and found my group and let them continue. But we did a great, fun slot pull. I won $50 on the slot pull.
That's not bad.
There you go.
Not bad at all. Now the thing about Royal is sometimes they will not notify you of your casino offers. So it's good to maybe check once a week or so on the website to see if they do have any offers, because they'll pop up and then they'll expire on you if you don't check frequently.
So just Royal Caribbean,
just
or whatever.
Just go into your regular Royal Caribbean on the website, and you can find your link there for the casino, and it's the same login. You just click on the casino part of it, and it'll take you over to the casino portion, and it will show you if you have any casino offers, because they're not very good at contacting people about their casino offers. And like Nelly said, 400 points does not guarantee you an offer anymore, but sometimes they'll slip an offer in, like buy one, get one on a cabin or so.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, just check it once a week. Just log into your Royal Caribbean website and just check it. Because, I mean, some offers better than no offer. So
right. And I wasn't expecting, you know, a free cruise or anything like that. I just thought, you know, if I could get $100-200 off my cruise, I'd be happy.
And you never know, you might be able to get something that with some free onboard credit or something. So
right.
There's been something going on with these cruise ships lately. What was there? What, the 4 or 5 ships breaking down now? The Van Dam, the latest one, having engine problems. I mean, it's crazy. All these ships. They're probably not. They probably need to spend more time going to the shipyard, get some work done on them. But they're trying to stretch out, I think, between shipyards, time in the shipyard, to and that's what they got in trouble with back when Triumph. The Triumph was supposed to go into the shipyard, but they kept stretching it out. They kept adding months on it, and they finally got to the point to where they stretched it too long. I mean, I was on that ship 2 weeks before she broke down. That's the one it's the Sunshine now. They renamed her the Sunshine. That's the one commonly known as the Poop Cruise ship. I
was on that ship 3 years after that happened.
Yeah, they got to stay on top of
it was my first ship. It was my first ship I was ever on, and it was 3 years after that. And you know what's funny is I didn't know anything. I didn't hear about anything. I wasn't in the cruise community. I wasn't in the know, and you know, everybody talked about the Poop Cruise here and there. You know, you didn't hear much about it. And then the video came out on Netflix.
Yeah. Right.
And the next thing you know, all over social media is like, you know, I can still smell it in the ship and blah, blah, blah. And it's, you know, they should have took it out of service and and you know what? It's 9:04 here in South Louisiana, so I'm about to get raw after dark. You sons of bitches are a bunch of damn liars that just want to complain about some shit. That's what you're doing. Because I was on it 3 years after it happened. I had no clue, and I didn't smell nothing. So how are you going to be on that son of a bitch after after it was totally stripped, redone, rebranded. 15 years later, and be like, I can still smell poop in the wall. No, you're an idiot. You're a damn idiot.
Sort of say they're full of crap. No, they were going to get new carpet in. The carpet was kind of worn. When I noticed, well, they were going to go in the shipyard and get all that stuff done, repainted.
Dude, do you not think that after that happened, they took that ship straight to the shipyard, stripped everything they possibly could out of it, literally flushed it with bleach and any type of pesticides and antibiotics and any kind of degreasers they could, scrubbed the hell out of it. Do you think it came out before the CDC inspected it again? No, it did not. They have to inspect it. All these inspectors out there, and then they can start to rebuild it. So all the people that keep talking about the poop cruise, you know what? You're fighting a moot battle. I don't believe you. It's my ass.
Well, they're getting closer to that, Malibu.
Yeah, because the Zandam and the Volendam are both Holland American ships, and they both have propulsion issues up in Alaska.
Right.
I'm going to say something. I like the Paradise. I like the Paradise, though.
Yeah.
Granted, does she need to go? Yes. But the Paradise is a good ship. I was on it in September. And, she's old. She's showing, she's showing her age. I get it. But it was a nice ship.
Well, I know Elation would be the first ship if Carnival decides to get rid of a ship. Not necessarily saying it's going to be scrapped, but to get rid of it out of their fleet. And the most likely,
the Elation and the Paradise are sister ships.
Right, exactly. And then
I got a short on the Paradise.
Yeah. Now the Royal Caribbean, I would think the Granger will be the first ship to go out of the Royal Caribbean fleet. I'm not sure they're ready for. I know the Royal Caribbean loves Rhapsody. Now, Enchantment, that's the one that was extended. We got 87 feet added to the middle of it. I always call that the stretch limo ship. But I was on that ship before it got stretched, by the way, Enchantment. But that could be the next ship that Royal Caribbean can get rid of. But Royal Caribbean can't get rid of too many of the smaller ships because they're not building any of them. The Discovery
right, and then they wouldn't have anything to go out of Tampa.
Exactly. And the Discovery class is still going to be, 4,000, 4,200 passenger ships. And so, they still need those smaller 2,000 passenger ships. So they can't get rid of too many of them. And there's a purpose for those ships. But anyway, hey, Scotty J, how you doing, buddy?
Well, see, that's the thing with New Orleans. Okay, literally the biggest ship we can handle here is a Dream class with Carnival. And I don't know what the other Royal ships are. I know we've had the Breakaway here, we've had the Getaway here, but that's like the largest ship we can handle here.
Yeah, the Getaway and Breakaway are pretty good sized ships, though.
Yeah, but they're building all these new bigger ships, and everything's got to be bigger and bigger and bigger. But okay, what about the little guys?
Right.
We still put 2 million people a year on a cruise ship down here.
Right.
No matter what brand it is. Mobile can't take anything really that big.
Right.
And it's like we're literally getting shit on because
do you think
they're not
you can
building
get
anything small.
Do you think you can get a Voyager class in there?
I don't know how big that is. I have no idea.
It's a little.
How far is it from how far of it is it from the Breakaway or the Getaway? Or
it's
the
smaller
Dream?
than a Breakaway.
Oh, wait a
smaller
minute.
Than
Wait a
those.
minute. Isn't Mariner going there?
I believe the Mariner's coming here.
Yeah, that's a Voyager class. Yeah, Mariner is going there. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you can take a Voyager class in.
I mean, they couldn't bring like a XL class, a Carnival XL class ship here.
No.
They couldn't do it. You know, they can't do a Vista class ship here.
Right.
Mm-mm.
No,
It's just
I
too
don't
big.
think Freedom class may be stretching it. Freedom's a little bit bigger, a little more beam, a little longer ship than the Voyager class.
I think with like a Vista class, I don't think because when they come into port, they're facing upriver, and what they do is what we call they top out. When they leave, they
Right.
top out. They shove the nose away, and it catches the current, and it whips it around headed south. I don't think it's the length. It could possibly be the depth, but I'm not really sure.
Draft,
But
you
I
don't know what the draft
big-
is there.
I know
Yeah.
I know a big part of it is the dock space of how big it is.
You need about a 40-foot draft. You know, maybe they can get by a 38 to bring.
But
the
I'm
ships
talking
in.
about the length. The length.
Oh,
of
the length. Okay. Oh, the length. Okay.
Because there's only so much dock space before you get into the next dock.
Yeah.
Because people down here in the South and the Port of New Orleans are not very smart about ship management. That's why we had one back in the late 80s, early 90s, run into the frickin' pier.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mariner was in port today. I went by, did a drive-by. I got a drive-by video of her today. That's a good ship, man. Whenever she comes to you, Dave, that's a good ship. I book her.
I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I think you have a good time with that one. Well, you know, it's 11 minutes after
sorry, I don't.
the witching hour.
I smoke. I'm sorry, I smoke. And when I go smoke my cigarette, I don't do it on camera. That's why you see me popping in and out all the time.
You don't have to talk about me, Dave.
I don't.
You
I don't like
you're
doing
not
it.
good brothers, man.
Yeah,
We're
but
good.
still, I mean, it's a nasty, disgusting habit. I wish I never had it, and but it is what it is.
I'm glad to have Miss
Now, I drink
Tricia
beer on the
tonight.
channel.
Miss Tricia is the only one, Dave, that will put up with us. The only woman I can think of to put up. Donna, she'd hit me in the head with something every once in a while, but Tricia, she's gentle with us.
That's funny.
I'm not gonna sound like I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I'm not gonna do it. But I met Tricia in a chat. I think it was on where was it? I think it was Chris and Liz or the match game or something. I met her, not really met her, but I talked to her in there. And I went to check out the channel. I'm like, oh, very cool, right? And still to this day, Tricia, I love you to death as a very good friend. Still to this day, my favorite video is the Christmas song. It is.
I live in infamy.
If you guys, anybody in the chat, has not been to Trisha's page and checked out the Christmas song, I implore you to do so. It was great. It was so good. I was sitting back here laughing, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and I'd laugh some more. I'm like, oh, I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, I had a great
Like
time on the match
40,000
game
views
last
on
week.
that.
Yeah. I had a
I
great
need to
time
go
on
back.
match game last week.
I haven't caught the replay of that yet. I was playing various things throughout the day working, but I haven't made it to that one yet.
Yeah, I
you-
was told
you
I
be
need to watch the
prepared.
replay of the match game too.
That's a gut buster right
Be
there.
prepared to laugh your rear ends off. Liz
Yes.
wind up snorting multiple times.
That has to be one of the funniest ones I've caught. I've seen. So.
We
sure.
were ripping it up, man. Yeah, the last question about the toilet seat.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's a classic one. They need to can that one. Anyway, folks, appreciate y'all coming around. Dave, Chris, Tricia, I love you guys.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No, we always have great discussions, man, and we do break down the cruise news of the day, and go dive down into it and see where we're going to go with it. We never know where we're going to go with these topics when we start talking about them. And
it can go sideways quick.
It can.
Chris is my professor of cruising. I tell you, he does a great job. I watch his videos, and some of them I think would be great to bring over, which I have done a couple of times. But Chris has a great point of view. All you guys got a wonderful point of view on cruising, and I respect all y'all. So, yeah, same thing with you chat guys. You guys bring a lot to the table. Even you, Nelly.
And I think Tricia has a very fresh perspective, so I love having her.
Speaking of Nelly, is Nelly still here?
He may be. He was on his way out, but he might still be here.
I just want to tell Haley hello.
Yep.
I do that every time I see him in the chat. I always tell Haley hello.
Yep. Yes.
I have been working on. Never mind. I'll talk about it after. I'll talk about it after.
Hey, Miss Jennifer, be sure to tell your husband we said hi. Don and I both said hi. And
Andrew. Oh, Andrew.
Miss and Miss Chloe. I'm enjoying your video. She has a good live this weekend.
Chloe is like 6 now. When I first found this community, Chloe was like, I don't know, 6 weeks
Growing like
old.
a weed. Yep.
It's insane.
Hey, Dwayne, I'm sorry, man, you came in so late.
Like
We have some great topics, man. Come in a little earlier next week, man. We'll include your point of view too.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I know it's kind of running late tonight, and y'all be safe out there, and book a cruise next Monday. Bring your questions and topics, and we'll break it down like we always do.
Happy birthday to Jen Cohen.
We will hash it out for sure.
Yep. Happy birthday to Jen Cohen, if you guys know her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jen. If you're
Today's my
watching the
daughter's
replay.
20th birthday, too.
Yep. And happy birthday to Trisha's daughter's birthday.
If y'all watch this show on replay, be sure to type in replay in the comments section. I'd like to know about it. And y'all be safe. Book a cruise. Y'all be sure to hit like and subscribe on all of our channels. And be here next week. We got a show Wednesday night. Dave, myself. I think Eddie's going to be there, and Sherman, and good times had by all, and more cruise information. We're full of it. Yes, Nelly, I said we're full of it. Y'all have a good night, and good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.